Hi, my name is Abby Smith, and for my first honors book project, I read The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. So the whole book is set around this blurred, faint memory that Lily Melissa Owens, the main character, has when she is about 4 years old. She remembers being in a room with her mother, and her mother is doing something in the closet. Her father comes in and they get into a heated argument. A gun comes out of nowhere and falls on the floor. Lily, wanting the argument to stop, reaches over and takes the gun. It accidentally goes off, shoots, and kills her mother. So her dad goes into this mean, abusive state and is physically and mentally abusive to Lily. Eventually, based race reasons, because her the person who is her basically her surrogate mother, Rosaline, gets abused by and assaulted by 3 white supremacist men, so they run to the only lead that Lily has with her mother, which is a photograph of Black Madonna on the front, and the back in handwritten is Tiburon, South Carolina. So they go there. Lily goes into a store and sees a Candace honey with the same image on it. The store owner says, "That's the Calendar Sisters." So she goes there. She lies about who she is and takes them in. And she keeps her keep by helping them with their bee business, making honey. And eventually, they kind of knew the whole entire time who she was because she was the spitting image of her mother. But eventually she comes clean, and Lily has this crisis of, I don't know who I am. My whole life is a lie. My mom ran away. So she has to find this inner strength in her that she didn't know was there, but she finds it because she needs to become this woman who can stand up for herself. So I'm going to read the section where August, one of the 3 Calendar Sisters, talks to Lily about how she can find herself within herself. She lifted back the veils from her hat, then lifted mine back too. She held my gaze while I studied the gold flecks in her eyes. "Remember when I told you the story of Bellatrix?" she said. "The nun who ran away from her convent? Remember how the Virgin Mary stood in for her?" "I remember," I said. "I figured you knew I'd ran away like Beatrix did." "You were trying to tell me that Mary was standing in for me at home, taking care of things until I went back." "Oh, that's not what I was trying to tell you at all," she said. "You weren't the runaway I was thinking about. I was thinking about your mother running away. I was just trying to plant a little idea in your head." "What idea?" "That maybe Our Lady could act for Deborah's her mother, and be like a stand-in mother for you." The light was making patterns on the grass. I stared at them, feeling shy about what I was going to say. "I told Our Lady one night in the pink house that she was my mother. I put my hand on her heart the way you and the daughters do at our meetings. I know I tried it that time before and fainted, but this time I stayed on my feet, and for a while after that I really did feel stronger. Then I seemed to lose it. I think what I need is to go back and touch her heart again." August said, "Listen to me now, Lily. I'm going to tell you something that I want you to always remember, all right?" Her face had grown serious, intent. Her eyes did not blink. "All right," I said, and I felt some electric slide down my spine. "Our Lady is not some magical being out there somewhere, like a fairy godmother. She's not a statue in the parlor. She's something inside of you. Do you understand what I'm telling you?" "Our Lady is inside me," I repeated, not sure I did. "You have to find a mother inside yourself. We all do. Even if we already have a mother, we still have to find this part of ourselves inside." She held out her hand to me. "Give me your hand." I lifted my left hand and placed it on hers. She took it and pressed the flat palm up against my chest, over my beating heart. "You don't have to put your hand on Mary's heart to get enough. You don't need to put your hand on Mary's heart to get strength and consolation and rescue and all the other things we need to get through life," she said. "You can place it right here on your own heart. Your own heart." August stepped closer, keeping the pressure steady against my hand. "All those times your father treated you mean, Our Lady was the voice inside of you that said, 'No, I will not bow down to this. I am Lily Melissa Owens. I will not bow down.'" Whether you could hear this voice or not, she was in there saying it. I took my other hand and placed it on top of hers. She then moved her free hand on top of it, so we had this black and white stack of hands resting upon my chest. "When you're unsure of yourself," she said, "when you start pulling back into doubt and small living, she's the one inside you saying, 'Get up from there and live like the glorious girl you are.' She's the power inside of you. You understand?" Her hands stayed there. Her hands stayed where they were, but released their pressure. And whatever it is that keeps widening your heart, that's Mary too. Not only the power inside of you, but the love. And when you get down to it, Lily, that's the only purpose grand enough for human life. Not just to love, but to persist in love. She paused. Bees drummed their sound into the air. August retrieved her hands from the pile on my chest, but I left mine there. This Mary I'm talking about sits in your heart all day long, saying, Lily, you are my everlasting home. Don't you ever be afraid. I am enough. We are enough. I closed my eyes, and in the coolness of the morning, there among the bees, I felt for one clear instant what she was talking about. When I opened my eyes, August was nowhere to be found. I looked back toward the house and saw her crossing the yard, her white dress catching the light. So in this section, it proves to Lily that she is a strong, independent woman. Her father has beaten her down and made her think that she is lesser than. But having this talk with August really empowers her to go stand up to her father at the end of the story and say, no, you do not get to treat me like this. I am strong, and I'm better than what you treat me. I really, really like this book. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. And the theme is basically, there's always something inside of you. There's strength inside of you. But maybe it just takes a little misfortune and hate to draw out that strength, that inner fire in you to do what you believe in.